everybody, and welcome to The Beacons Are Lit, a Lord of the Rings podcast. I'm the host, Mike Marbach. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Conrad.
Hello.
Matt Guerin.
Hello.
And Stacy Lyons.
Hello.
We're here today to discuss the second part of our seemingly never-ending series covering the Fellowship of the Ring. But before we get to that, I do have some news. I do have some news in a series, sequence, a segment, if you will, I'm calling News from the Mark.
Riders of Rohan! What news from the Mark?
I don't know that we've discussed this even amongst ourselves before the podcast, but for the last few weeks, the news has been out there that the new Lord of the Rings series will premiere on Friday, September 2nd, 2022.
Hey.
Very close to my birthday.
Yeah.
We're doing it just for you. Something to look forward to this year.
Kelly's,
Birthday.
That is exciting news. At the same time, that feels so far away.
Yeah.
A
It feels
million
so far
things
away.
could happen between now
feels-
and then.
Yeah, it feels so far away, so close. And also with the different issues that they've had and location changes and casting things, I feel like it might get pushed back, but I'm hoping that it stays where it's at because it's a good time. Because
Is
that's
that
plenty
Labor?
of time
Is that
for us.
Labor Day?
On a Friday? No, but it might be that weekend.
Labor Day. Yeah,
By
Labor
the
Day
looks of
weekend.
it.
So-
All right, yeah, let's take the
How
all
long
the
have I
time
been?
that we can
Yeah.
to-
Let's
It
nail
is,
down
it is
this-
in fact
this,
Labor Day
holiday
weekend. Labor Day weekend. So
That's Labor Day
people
weekend.
will have time off from work to binge it and then get back to us. And we will
Yeah.
be discussing Two Towers by then, do you think?
Mark your
Yeah,
calendars,
so-
y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna maybe finish disc 2 of Fellowship.
Yeah,
By then.
we might be at Helm's Deep.
Yeah,
We
we'll
shall see. Next bit of news from the Mark is happy 130th birthday to John Ronald Reuel Tolkien.
Yay.
Rule. I never knew the middle
Yeah.
name.
Well,
I'm not sure if
I
I'm
would
pronouncing it
always say
correctly.
royal. How is
Okay.
it spelled? I would say royal.
Yeah.
Probably wrong.
Yeah. And the last bit of news
JRR.
is we did just pass the 20th anniversary a few weeks ago of the Fellowship of the Ring. So this has been around now for 20 years, which was one of the impetuses of doing this. So there's that. And Stephen Colbert released an homage, a fantastic homage to kind of celebrate, because he was right. On his show, he was talking about what a big deal and cultural phenomena that this film trilogy is, and it hasn't really been discussed. They have a Harry Potter Return to Hogwarts deal.
I was gonna say Harry Potter gets a return on the 20th.
Right?
Where's the return
Such
to
bullshit.
Middle Earth?
It's such bullshit.
So
We're
where's-
giving Rowling more money. Can't give the Tolkien estate some dough.
I don't know that she was part of it.
I know
if
they
I'm being
really cut her out.
they
But
really-
like, I feel like all Harry Potter money goes back to her eventually a little bit, right?
She's got
In some
To be
way.
billions
fair,
of
a
dollars,
lot
and
of-
she still wants to tweet nasty shit. Like,
Plus,
come on.
I'm gonna say stole. Maybe she sampled quite a few tropes from
Oh,
JR
absolutely.
himself. So I mean,
Of
let's just
course.
we should have made it a Harry Potter Lord of the Rings combo. No
Yeah.
JRR. No, I don't care. I'm just
Yeah. She also sampled
saying
the
shit
RR,
right now.
the whole initials thing.
Yeah.
But I bring this up one to draw attention to the fact that there's got to be a bigger deal made out of this
Yeah.
whole thing. But also the song that they did. I'm going to play a little clip, and we will have the full version of it kind of playing out the at the end of the podcast. I'm just going to play a little 30-40 second clip of it right now.
Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilogy. Ask Tom Monahan, or you can ask Billy.
Sean Astin's here too? Well, that's actually silly.
Will Elijah Wood join us?
I don't know, really. Elf, dwarf, wizard, human, hobbits of the Shire. Bring the ring to Mount Doom and I throw it in the fire.
Such a good trill that I wish they made 4 though.
This one's a better decent than your favorite porno.
A strider, some riders, golem, a spider. We got a gray wizard and we got one that's wider.
Best trill ever, baby, don't you forget.
That's right, Anna Kendrick, pitch perfect ain't.
What the hell?
cool.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
fun.
fun little clip. We'll play the full thing at the end.
I have shamelessly watched that so many times.
It's good. It's really
What
good.
is what is
Yeah.
shameful, Kelly?
That's true. Like, what are we
Loving
doing
what
here?
you love.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry that I'm passionate. Yeah, it's so fun. The two rap, well, the whole thing's a rap, but like I think it's Method Man and I forget the other rapper, but their segments are amazing. Freaking Hugo Weaving raps in Elvish.
Yeah, it's so good.
What?
It is-
All right, I gotta watch
like
it now.
it's ridiculous. And Andy Serkis, I say no more, but it's
I
super
cannot
cool.
wait to talk about Hugo Weaving.
Oh,
I can't wait to the last thing we have to talk about when
Yeah.
it comes to Hugo Weaving.
Spoiler alert to anyone listening to this podcast: we don't get to Hugo Weaving in this
Yeah.
episode.
I
We
think
are moving
I
at
think
a
every
snail's
single
pace.
episode so far, I've said something like, "I can't wait until we talk about that," because I
Yeah,
know
that's
it's just
true.
not gonna happen right now.
All right, so
Wait,
let's
I think we
get-
did. All right, yeah, all right. Go
Let's
ahead.
get going. So when we pick up where we left off, because why wouldn't we? Like, that's the whole point.
Let's skip
and-
ahead a couple frames. And
Frodo and Sam are in the woods, glamping, pretty much, hanging out, having a good time.
well, you're not glamping according to Samwise. He is not comfortable.
He is,
Well, he's not comfortable.
yeah, no.
No.
You'd think as a gardener, he would know how to make a comfortable little situation for himself. And I'm not saying that to disparage Sam or his talents, but I'm just saying find some moss, find some pine needles, find a soft
Yeah.
surface.
Bundle
Yeah.
up one of your like 12 cloaks, man. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of the suggestions, Stacey, that you just gave are all so much better than what Frodo said. Just imagine you're back at the Shire in your bed.
I would be furious if
Yeah,
someone
I
I,
think this
was
is-
missioned
yeah.
to protect responded to me in that way. Like that's kind of what my husband
Oh.
does, and I get mad every single time. I'll
It's
be like, I
also
didn't sleep last night. Just
It's
sleep.
so frustrating when someone who's clearly about to fall asleep is giving you advice on how to fall asleep. Like Frodo is so comfortable and he's like truly just
Mhm.
about to drift into a very nice sleep. And he's like trying to tell Sam what to do. It's just not
And that like
Well,
little
I-
like
polite.
me either, Sam. He
This
kind of
is
laughs.
this is interesting because from my point of view, I watched that scene and I think, man, Sam's being kind of annoying right now. Like they're like, dude, just relax. Like Frodo's about to fall asleep and Sam's being like, oh, I can't get comfortable. Like you're outside. What did you
Okay.
expect?
So
but-
here's
but I think what
here's
makes
a
it-
theory.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you a good sleeper, Matt? Are
Good
Yeah,
you
I'm great sleep.
identifying? Yeah, so you're identifying with Frodo as a
Yeah,
terrible
sure.
sleeper.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, Kelly.
I'm
I
not a
would
terrible
absolutely
sleeper,
be
but
Sam.
it's really hard for me to fall asleep. It's
Mhm.
really hard for me to fall asleep. So yeah, I sympathize with Sam. He's used to what he's probably a sleeper who can just sleep in his bed with his pillow and his sheets. I'm kind of similar. Anywhere that's not like my bed, my pillow, my stuff, it's really, really difficult.
It
If
needs
it
to be like
was-
68, 69 degrees.
69,
If it
baby.
was me
Ooh.
and Frodo and I was Sam, we would be hauling around my purple bed. That's what would be happening.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I
yeah?
would not be able to sleep.
Mike, the Nazgul would catch you immediately because
Hide
those
under the mattress.
mattresses, those mattresses hide under the mattress.
So we're shooting for
Yeah.
purple as our sponsor. I was really gonna go for
Yeah.
Casper. But okay. We'll
Yeah.
go for purple. That's fine.
so
Hide under
heavy.
the mattress. They are very heavy.
I think what makes this moment great though is that like Frodo doesn't get annoyed. Like he just smile. Like I love that he smiles and is like just close and tries to like soothe him. It's like, oh, they're like really close. They're really good friends. Like because it's
Are
easy.
they?
Because it's easy. I think. That's a good question too.
That's I
or is he
want to
just a
talk about that.
gardener?
Are
I
they?
don't know.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's
Like,
murky.
are they? What's their relationship up to this
So,
point?
They're
But I
not,
think this moment gives like a little bit of insight into it. Like I feel like that moment helps us understand that he's more than just a gardener to Frodo. I think.
yeah, I
Mhm.
think there's an immense amount of respect and care. But I don't think that I wouldn't consider them close. Yeah, I think like the Gamgees are like employed by the Bagginses. But I think there is a lot of respect. And I think Samwise is just like an admirable, honorable fellow. And he's like, oh, I was kind of deemed this job as like a protector, and I'm gonna take that very seriously.
There's also
Mhm.
that moment in the previous scenes where Frodo seems to be interested in Sam's love life. Like he's talking to him about Rosie. They're drinking together. So I do think that there
buds.
is some kind of
They hang
friendship
out.
there, but I just don't know how close they truly are. And I
And
Close enough
there's an
that
age
Samwise was kind of like following him a little bit to see what was going on, which got him into this whole mess to begin with.
I still don't understand that. I'm going to stand by my comments previously. I don't understand why they left the bar and Sam came back to his house in the dead of night and hung out by his window. I don't get it.
It's gonna sneak in.
It's just, just being a bro, looking out for a bro. He's got to make sure he gets tucked in okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going
Let
to
me ask you this.
subscribe to that theory.
It's literally one of my favorite moments in
in the trilogy.
I love the way Frodo smiles. I think like it says so much about just like their friendship. I think it's great. So
Wow,
anyway.
Matt, I think that says a lot about you, and I mean that in a positive way.
Oh, thanks.
Are
Okay.
you crying?
No,
Anything more
Sauron.
within this?
I can't cry.
All right. So let's move on then to Gandalf and Saruman.
Yeah.
Well,
Great
Things go
transition.
exactly as he planned too. Smoke rises from the mountain of doom. The hour grows late, and Gandalf the Grey rides to Isengard, seeking my counsel. Like what a great
perfect exposition.
It
Perfect
is.
exposition.
Well, that is why you came, is it not?
I'm caught up.
I think we get like the first hint of like the fellowship theme too in this transition. The no wait, that's the Uruk-hai one.
Uruk-hai,
We get
yeah.
a different theme. It's a good transition. We get to see Tower of Orthanc for the first time. Looks awesome. It's incredible looking.
Oh, so scenic, so lush, so green.
Yeah.
Is
Spoiler
that?
alert,
Do we
that's not
think
gonna lie.
that's CGI? Like, is the building?
I think
I
it's
think
matte
they-
painting
I
and
thought they
CGI.
did a lot of miniatures that they like zoomed in on. Like I remember in like the making of, they had like miniatures of like Minas Tirith and like just zoom like panning over the like small buildings.
Yeah, I know they
Yeah.
had a 30-foot miniature of like Mount Doom, but I don't know. They probably had one of Orthanc too. But
Yeah.
the one I'm thinking of in my head is the huge one that's of what is it? Mount Doom? Is that what his castle is called? Sauron's castle.
I think it's in Barad-dûr.
Barad-dûr.
Barad-dûr. Yeah, that one.
Which is supposed to be gigantic. I don't know if you guys have ever, this is one of my guilty pleasures, gone to Google Images and typed in like Barad-dûr and like Isengard and all like basically everything as compared to current buildings or
wow.
features of like the earth, like at Mount Everest and stuff. But it's eye-opening. I would highly recommend doing it.
Oh,
Is that
I
big?
mean,
Yeah. Oh, it's gigantic.
Bigger than the Empire State Building?
Oh yeah. Oh Mike. Oh Mike.
How big?
yes, 10-year-old boy.
I'm only going if it's bigger than the Empire State Building.
Bigger
I
than
don't
the
get out of
Empire
bed.
State Building.
So
Oh,
Okay.
Barad-dûr again. Come on.
So the tallest building in the world, are we saying it's the one from Dubai? Look
Yeah.
how much taller it is.
Oh, wow.
You can't see it if you're
Wow.
listening, but I would highly recommend pulling out your device.
I've got that Lego Orthanc that's 2 feet tall. It's pretty sweet.
Orthanc.
You guys should get that.
Is
Well,
that
no,
the-
Yeah,
that's
everyone
not,
should get it.
that's not Orthanc, that's Barad-dûr. That's the one.
Oh,
that's-
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is
I just want to
Orthanc
plug. guess.
Saruman's castle? I thought that was, and then just the area's Isengard. I thought the tower was
Areas.
called Isengard.
The tower is Orthanc, the
Okay.
area is Isengard.
Okay.
And I only know that because I have the Legos.
Yep.
Oh,
That's why.
okay. So
Uh,
you're
Did
the
I mention I have
authority.
the Lego? I've got
All of our
got
knowledge of
Weathercop
Lord of
too.
the
It's pretty
Rings
sweet.
comes from merchandise,
Legos.
not the
Yeah.
books. not,
Yeah.
not the movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like Star Wars in that sense, where it's like nobody knew like Greedo's name really until
Mm.
the action figures came out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not a Star Wars podcast. Christopher Lee is great.
Oh yes,
Uh,
I wanted to talk about that.
He's met Tolkien.
Mhm.
Like,
He used to read the books every single year before he was even cast. Like he was a
yeah, he was a
fan.
huge fan. Yeah,
They
what
couldn't
an
have- they couldn't have-
intimidating dude.
Couldn't have picked anyone better for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Not a single
On
single
point.
better actor.
It's like,
Matt,
we
are
need
you
the-
are you okay with this casting choice?
I'm
Matt?
okay with this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want
Uh,
to make sure.
Honestly, I did like overthink it for a second. And I was like,
Is
you know,
he
Saruman
too good?
was like a good guy for like thousands of years, and Christopher Lee comes in, and you're like, no way, he's not a bad guy.
He
Like
is-
immediately, don't believe he's
so
anything but a
sinister.
bad guy.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you need. You need to just know that Saruman's going to be bad. We've got two similar kind of looking wizards. we gotta make one
Make
look
it
bad,
clear.
one
Yeah.
look good.
He's
My
also
only
he's so
quibble-
his voice is so deep. Sorry, Mike, and he's just so sinister. And he's also such a dick to Gandalf. Like within 2 lines of
Like,
dialogue,
yeah,
and you're like,
immediately. He's like,
you're like,
so
"Are they
look who comes
friends?"
crawling back to me.
yeah,
or
your
whatever the fuck he
love of
says.
the halfling's leaf has
Blinds you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
calls him a pothead.
Has clearly
Yeah, he
slowed
does.
your mind.
And Gandalf doesn't even react. He's just like, but there's still time.
Yeah.
Time.
He
Yeah.
offended. Like that's. Are you stoned right now, Gandalf? That was mean.
It was. It was. I was going to say the only problem that I have with it, and it's not a problem, it's just that Saruman, Sauron, Saruman.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what Tolkien was thinking with that one.
And I
Too
think
much
that
Of the
is-
Hobbit's leaf.
yeah, that I think that happens quite often in the books, if I'm not mistaken, is there are a lot of names that are quite similar to each other. So it's just something you got to get over. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm
It doesn't
over
sound
it.
like you are, Mike. It just
I'm
doesn't sound
over
like
it.
you are. Okay.
You know what? I'm not over it. Lights out. Great-eyed, lidless, breathed in flame, the eye of Sauron. Saruman is using the Palantir, which Gandalf
Yeah.
is like, I don't know about that.
Sketchy, bro. That's
Yeah.
sketchy.
Are you sure you wanna? Are you sure you wanna? Because you don't know who's watching. Bruh.
Saruman's like, let him watch.
Yeah, why should
Let 'em.
we fear?
What a voyeur.
elf.
Can we talk about how disheveled Saruman keeps Orthanc? There is shit everywhere. Like whatever
Yeah.
that office is.
Yeah, that's
Just
a
like-
study. But his like throne room is pretty spotless. There's like
His
nothing in
floor-
I
there.
mean,
Floors
minimalist.
are-
There's nothing to be
Yeah.
dirty.
His
Yeah.
Yeah.
floors are gleaming. Like, do you think he has everyone take off his shoes before they enter?
Oh, that's a good question. Is Orthanc a shoeless household or not?
I'm gonna say yes, but not for
you
wizards.
know
Like,
those
I'm-
orcs are not
Yeah,
taking
he's
off
not gonna
their
make the orcs
muddy
take off their
boots.
shoes.
I
Do you
bet you
think
that leather
orcs
is
have
embedded
boots?
into their skin. I bet they have some kind of. I don't think they're walking around barefoot, or maybe they are.
No, you know
Maybe
what?
they're like
It is
hobbits.
a shoeless house because later on we do see Wormtongue run up the steps of Orthanc, and he does stop, kind of like kicks his shoes off on the top of the steps,
Mhm.
lightly takes them off.
He
It's
puts
in
them on the
the
mat.
extended
There's
edition,
there's
yeah.
like a mat
There's
right
a mat.
there
He
on
puts
the
on the
ground.
house slippers,
Yes.
and then
We
he
see all
runs
the dirty
in
shoes,
and
yeah.
tells,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Does the whole Mr.
there's
Rogers
there's
thing.
a big pile of shoes there too
Yeah.
Sure.
from all the other guests.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I would love to see Wormtongue as Mr. Rogers.
Hello there, orcs. How you doing?
Is it too early to talk about Brad Dourif and how great he is as Wormtongue? It's too early, right?
It's too
We'll
early.
wait.
It's too
We'll
early.
wait.
We've
We're
only
not-
got. We're supposed to keep this to an hour.
9 months away from that one.
Okay, yeah, we're 9 months away from 2 towers. My bad.
All right, so Gandalf is there to seek his counsel, exactly as he has said as soon as he entered. Goes to Palantir. Oh, I love that moment where Gandalf touches it, and then you get that flash of the
Yeah.
eye.
Great.
Pretty great. Pretty great.
It's just like when he
Uh,
touches the ring in the last episode we did. So it's just
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
going to say something, and this is going to be, it's going to come up again later, and it might be controversial. This might be my most
Oh my god.
controversial.
Do I need to
My
mark down
most
the time?
controversial.
Do we need to
opinion
brace
about-
ourselves for a hot take?
about the Lord of the Rings?
segment drop here.
I don't love that they start to show the eye for longer and longer, and they have Sauron say shit like, "I see you." Like I
Oh,
loved.
what?
I
You don't love
loved
that?
the flashes. It was so
Mm.
scary and so sudden, and it just reminded me of like what I imagined, like what they would be thinking at that moment, like a flash of an eye. But to like really hone in on the eye and like have it talk, I did not love that.
I see. And he does
Yeah,
that like
I
multiple
was gonna
times. It's like that's all I can say.
Or
I
if they're
see
going to
you.
have it say something, have it be in like Elvish or Mordorian or
Well,
whatever.
he
like
does
Yeah, I
talk
like
in
that.
Mordor, I think
little bit.
before.
he does for
yeah.
a minute, and it's so scary.
It is
It's so,
scary.
it's so
Yeah.
frightening.
I was gonna say
then he
I
starts
really
saying-
like the guy who does Sauron's voice. I was like, I don't know who that guy is, but he's not getting talked about
It's
enough.
probably Andy Serkis.
It's a good. It probably is.
I don't.
And you know
I
what?
don't think
He
it's
deserves
Andy
all the credit.
Serkis.
It's either Andy
it's great.
Serkis or John Rhys
Look it up.
Davies because those
Yeah.
two did pretty much everything.
I'm not
I
sure
look-
it's either of them.
Voice of
Not-
Sauron.
Stacey, I don't disagree with you. I do think what they just the dialogue that they give him is like a little like it's scarier with less.
I like that it's
I
so mixed
agree.
in though, like with the music so like scary and the like the wind sound effects when Frodo's got the ring on. Like you can almost like you can't hear his voice that well, and I kind of like that too. That
It's like
it's
blended
kind of,
in with the
yeah,
environment.
it's hard to pinpoint. It sounds very inhuman. Like I thought they did a good job with it, but I get what you're
Mm.
saying. Like the flashes are super effective. It is
just loved
less
it.
effective upon multiple viewings. The extended parts, I'd say.
The voice of Sauron, for anyone interested, his name was Alan Howard. He passed away on Valentine's Day, 2015, I believe.
Hmm.
He was a member of
Okay.
the Royal Shakespeare Company and nephew
Mm.
of Gone with the Wind actor Leslie Howard.
Mm.
How about that?
Thank you,
All right.
Alan, for the
Yeah,
great
Thank you, Alan
performance.
Howard.
And
Everyone
I'm
pour
sorry
one
you
out.
have to be remembered by the person who's shitting on you, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Saruman is like, what time do you think we have? The 9 have left Minas Morgul, disguised as riders in black. Like
Men in
not a
Black,
great disguise.
baby.
Not a great disguise, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Our,
Disguised as hideous monsters.
out of disguise.
Yeah, really flying under the radar, Nazgul.
Yeah, they're faceless, cloaked dementors on horses.
You won't
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rider, they're disguised as 2 kids in a trench coat. Anything's better than what they've done.
They
And why
literally
send
look
them?
like how Nazgul looked. Just
What
like
if
on
the-
horses.
What if
Yeah.
the Nazgul like put their hoods down and then they just had like the glasses, nose, like Halloween costume,
Little
the
mustache.
mustache? Like,
Yeah.
What's it? It's got a
Yeah.
name. What,
Behind a
what's
news-
Dire.
Uh, Speaking
Who are you?
of Nazgul, as I posted in our channel today,
Oh, that's a good
through
trivia bit.
through a dating app, Hinge, after someone I had matched with named Nazgul, which I'm in. First of all,
Marry her.
Yeah,
Right.
Right, I think
Uh,
you're supposed to stay
I'm-
away from the Nazgul.
I'm on board. Well, listen to this.
It's like clearly a Nazgul disguised as a woman.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just wearing a little bonnet, like on a prairie.
Likes horseback riding.
What I'm getting at is
And Sauron.
I had asked what it meant, and Naz, it's she said it is a traditional Kazakh name, as in Kazakhstan, and Naz meaning tenderness, and Gul meaning flower. So tender flower, which not quite hitting the mark.
Yeah,
with,
missed that target, Tolkien.
Yeah, works for her, not so much for the actual Nazgul.
Yeah, come on, dude. You're a linguist. You didn't know this? Come on, man.
Like, come on, you made up a
Figure it out.
language, and this this.
Wait, is this
flew
where
off
we
your
find out
radar?
that Tolkien didn't make up a language? He just stole Kazakh.
Everyone in
All right.
Kazakhstan is like, what the hell?
Hey, where's our credits? Hey, I'm walking here.
Hey.
I don't know the Kazakh accents, and it would
Hey,
probably
I'm
not be
talking
appropriate to
here.
try. So Gandalf goes to leave. He's like, all right, there's still time. I gotta help them. And he goes to leave, and door closes, turns around, door closes, turns around, door closes, runs for a window closes. Like everything, everything's like shoom,
Air vent closes.
He persisted. He was just
This
like,
is-
"Oh, that one's closing. I'll try this one too.
he doesn't
Yeah.
look back to
Okay,
Saruman at
I'll
all.
try this one too. There must be
Yeah.
a draft." Yeah.
So many entrances
like-
and exits in this place.
One of my favorite, like Gandalf lines, guys. When like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going most favorite, least favorite today, but when he says, "Tell me, when did Saruman, the what is it?
wise
Wise.
abandoned reason for madness.
Oh my god, that
Oh,
line.
and Saruman lost his mind.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
might
yeah.
as well have said the worst insult of all time.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it was
he
like
he was ready to blow the whole time, and he
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
like waiting for a moment.
Just
But like
tipped him
that
over
line
the
was
edge.
just so powerful because Gandalf doesn't really acknowledge how evil he's been this whole time, and that's
Yeah.
the moment where we're like,
And he
we're
goes-
all in, he's all in. Like,
yeah.
He
You
goes,
can't
tell
come back from
me,
that line.
friend.
friend.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Ouchie, Wawa, that is so
Hey, wow.
cold.
It's like, and it's like the period like on Sauron's monologue. Like he's monologuing for a minute before this, and it's like,
And
Chef's
Gandalf
kiss.
knows what he hit that line. He knows it's gonna hit too,
Yeah.
because like
Oh,
they
yeah.
both go for each other immediately after. So he's like,
yeah.
"I've got this great
For the
quip."
Doors are
Jugular.
locked. He's like, I
Gonna go
get
right
one
for it.
sentence before I'm gonna get beamed with a
Mhm.
staff. What am I
Yeah.
gonna say here?
Gandalf holds his own until that staff gets ripped out of his hands.
You
Yeah,
don't
well,
get to
he's-
see
Yeah, he gets
enough
slammed up.
old men fighting in TV shows or movies.
This is
one
the
other-
part I think always gets like laughs though. Like, so I don't know how much more we needed of this sequence, at least the way Jackson shot. Like, at least two people that I've watched this movie with that have seen it for the first time laugh when Gandalf is like breakdancing,
Spinning.
like spinning around.
Break dancing. I find that moment so creepy.
Yeah,
their names,
I
Matt,
see
give me
that
their
too.
names.
I see that. Oh, okay, all right. My wife, that's her name.
Cool.
Name names.
Do you did you guys watch the commentary when they talked about the making of that and how he was like on his shoulder, your ear, like on a little spinning platform? Like he's like really doing that stunt. And I
Yeah.
if I recall correctly, it's been a decade that he like hurt himself doing
It looks
that
like
one,
a very
yeah.
spinning
uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm kind of with you, Kelly. Like I get like Exorcist kind of vibes from it. Like it
And
feels
just the way his
a
body
little-
is
yeah.
contorted, I think is just incredibly unnatural and awkward. And anything hovering for me is like a little creepy. Not anything. No, anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything
In the
hovering.
air
Hovering is
without
it
Don't
wires.
ever,
It's not
don't
gra-
ever
it's
watch
gravity.
David Blaine. Don't ever watch David Blaine.
It's creepy.
Gravity.
It's
was wrong.
also like
Um,
it
Yeah.
goes back to our previous conversation where like we talk about Gandalf and like this is so unsettling to me because he's getting his ass beat. Honestly, he does hold his own. He does. But he's like he gets beat up at the end of
Oh,
this. I mean,
sure.
when he awakes on
He's
top of
bloodied.
the tower, he's bloodied and bruised. And so it's just like, oh my god, we need Gandalf. Like he's the only one with answers. It can't just be Frodo. So the scene always gets me. I get why it's funny because old men are just going but I also am unsettled by it.
I found it very upsetting.
Yeah.
It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes.
I think it's great. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
It also has one
It is
one
Not
other
one
great
of my
line.
favorites.
I gave you a chance of aiding me willingly, but you have elected the way of pain.
The way
Which-
of pain.
Which incidentally is how I got you three to do this podcast, I think, right?
Yeah.
The way of pain.
You just I think put me on like a group chat and I just never got off it. Whatever time.
I think magic like rule discussions are super boring and dumb and who cares, but maybe it needs to be addressed really quick if we can. What like Gandalf and Saruman both here demonstrate some level of power that we don't really see them exercise later on. Like Gandalf
Yeah.
essentially has the force in this.
Mhm.
Saruman later on like controls weather. Wizards can do crazy shit. Why can't Gandalf just like flood a valley full of orcs or you know like there is this question. I don't know if it's ever addressed in the books. I don't remember reading it about it, but
He
just for the
exhibits-
sticklers out there, you
He
know,
exhibits
maybe
a bunch of different things. He goes to that light trick a little too much, I think, but otherwise,
yeah, he
he-
loves
he-
that.
he has some
loves
things.
that light.
yeah.
Well,
how
is
how
it-
about a super bright light out of my staff?
Well, but
That
that's
always
one
goes
of
over well.
his.
All right, Gandalf. Keep going. What else you got?
Y'all are
Well-
being so picky about.
Hang on, I'm not being
Gandalf's
picky. I started
abilities.
this caveat. I started this with the caveat. I don't care. I think this. I'm saying I've seen this point get raised before, and I just think it warrants a moment of discussion.
Do you
Sure.
mean like why doesn't he do more in this moment or in other moments?
In other moments, like
Okay.
he demonstrates like crazy powers that we just like, and later on in Helm's Deep, he's just like fighting with his staff and sword, like they're a bow staff and a sword. And it's like, dude, you can apparently
I mean, if we
move
think
people
about
with your will.
if we think about his battle with the Balrog, I mean, that literally sent him into a different plane of existence.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much magic he can do in terms of what it takes out of him and what he's willing to do for that to happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a circumstantial situation. Like depending on what he needs, he can like rise to that occasion. And yeah, is it a thing where it like depletes him of energy or of his health? I don't
And
know.
like you said, Matt, in the last step, I mean, like he's on this earth as like a guider and a guardian, not as like a magician. He's not trying to be Sauron, you know.
He's not
And
some
he's-
conjurer of cheap tricks.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
not one to abuse his power. I think he's someone who's incredibly reasonable and keeps himself in check when it comes to the power that he wields. And I do know y'all are like shitting on his light tricks, but we know that's one
Oh.
of his main things, right? Like
You
we
know,
know that
if it ain't broke,
No
it's not.
shit.
No shit, just
Also,
jokes.
I'm pretty sure in the books he's the
watch
one
it.
who, when Arwen floods the river, I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, he's the one who Gandalf is the one who added the horses. That was like his
Ye-
touch. So like
yeah.
he could
Yeah.
do some cheap tricks.
Which
mean,
I
and
don't,
kinda love
which I
it.
really like that they didn't include that in the movie, because when I read that in the book, I was like, you're taking shit away from Arwen. Arwen did that shit. That was so cool.
Arwen
but the
called on
horses
her
were
dad's-
mine.
I think Arwen called her dad on that one.
Wait, so are we
I
saying
don't-
that Arwen didn't do that at all and it was Elrond and Gandalf?
We'll get
Let's give it to
El-
Arwen.
It's Elrond's like magic that protects Rivendell, and I
Sure.
think she called on his or her like bloodline's power or Elrond's power. And I think Gandalf was with Elrond when he flooded the river, and he was like, you know, it'd be sweet.
Some horses.
Horses. We'll
All
talk
right,
a little bit
okay.
more about the flooding of the river in an hour or so.
Jesus. I'm so
but,
sorry.
So yeah, he is left. So last we see him, he's getting spun like a top up to the roof. Like what's his face in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? It's Charlie.
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 What's that guy's name?
What's his face?
Yeah. In somebody's chocolate factory. All right. So then we are on the road. We're in corn, and Sam is kind of wandering around. And, oh no!
The Frodo?
And he
Frodo!
thinks, Mr. Frodo, what is it, Sam? And they find each other, and he's like, "Don't you lose him, Samwise Gamgee, and I don't mean to." Nice little moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt,
And
was
then-
that your second favorite scene?
Good one.
Burn.
And then we are introduced in a very fun way to two more members of the Fellowship, Meriadoc Brandybuck and Peregrine Took.
Such a meet cute.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Such a
stealing
meat
from old man
Farmer
Maggot's-
Maggot.
Farmer Maggot's farm.
Change your name.
Is he a good
Honestly.
farmer? Yeah.
Apparently,
Sure.
he's known for his
Oh.
mushrooms, which hobbits love.
They do. They
Yeah.
do.
They get
Uh,
super stoked on him after they fall down that hill that in the wide looks like a really rocky cliff, and then they fall down a
I'm
pretty
like,
a steep hill, but it's not a cliff.
They just hit the soft spots.
I have
Yeah.
such a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that Merry and Pippin are either A, so hungry that they need to steal crabs, or B, this is just something they do for fun, or like maybe the general store in Hobbiton is closed and they're like they want some produce. I don't
Stacy, they're
I
they're
can't
potheads. Let me uncork this for you. They're potheads.
imagine
They have
if you get the munchies for like a giant carrot.
Raw
I just-
veggies.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
have
I
like
can't-
they don't have
Cheetos.
processed foods. Yeah.
It's like mid morning and they're
on a
just
whole food
jonesing.
diet.
I think about this.
I think
A
they
lot.
like to get themselves into a little tomfoolery. I think
Yeah,
they're
I think
they're
that
goofballs.
this is more about again exactly.
They
They're
want some
more about-
thrills.
goofball, as we established, 30-year-old men. They're just
Yeah.
they're just
Frolicking in the
goofy.
cornfield.
Bumping into 50, 60-year-old men.
It's a
Yeah.
middle-age crisis that they're experiencing. And he just got some good crops, I guess. So yeah, then they fall down, and I think I've broken something,
Oh,
and it's carrots.
a big
And
old
then there's
carrot.
that moment where they're all kind of standing around, and you see Frodo with his little spider sense, and the wind kind of starts going over. It's getting a little eerie. Get off the
Yeah.
road! And yeah, they go and they hide from one of the 9.
Yeah.
It's a tense moment, and it's such a great shot of
Oh.
them underneath the little ledge there, and the rider with the big hand coming down and clasping. That's Witch King, the
Smelling,
Witch King of
sniffing.
Angmar.
May I bring up something? Awesome.
Yes.
So
Hey.
so when the ring wraith gets off the horse and we see their foot, did anyone else think, that foot is smaller than I thought it would be?
You know, that
It's like-
means
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Ring wraith's got a small dick. No, I just think
Kelly would be disappointed.
no, I think the style of shoe makes the foot look a little small. That's all.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we can move on. I just didn't know
Yeah,
if
like
that's
big
Honestly,
clown
say
shoes.
it never came up in my mind.
Totally.
I'm
Same.
so sorry.
Same.
Same.
This scene is like just one of the most memorable scenes in the entire
Yeah.
trilogy.
And
Yeah.
then I
don't know
saw
if you
this
feel that way.
picture everywhere in like
This is
E
it. I mean-
magazine. It was like
Unbelievable.
it.
And I think that this goes back to my previous point where I don't think the ring wraiths can see them because they're literally inches
And he's
from
sniffing.
his face. This is
Yeah.
not a good hiding spot, and he is not a good finder. And so something has to be amiss here for this to work.
Yeah, the perspectives here don't totally work. I chalk it up to like they had to, make them look small and the ring wraiths look big. So yeah, he should see them. And like, what's his face? Pippin or Mary like throws like the bread as like a distraction or whatever, the pack. And it's like,
Yeah.
you would have seen him. Like he like
Yes.
completely is out of the hole to
You'd
throw
also,
the pack.
yeah, and you'd also be like, the thing that's in the hole that I'm sniffing through that bread, I'm gonna stay at the hole. And if he just went to, how far did he throw the bread? He would have seen
Well,
it
Yeah,
run.
like feet away.
Y'all,
Been there
let's
instantly.
not forget that hobbits are excellent hiders. They're excellent
Great hiders, great throwers.
Where did this come up in that concerning hobbits?
I think it's in the books that they're
Okay,
like
all right, yeah.
skilled
I don't remember this
hiders.
at all.
They're small, and ring wraiths I don't think know what they are. So it's like if you don't even know what you're looking for, you don't even have like a frame of reference. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think that, and plus they have shitty vision. So with all those things, I was like, oh yeah. And I do think out of all the hiding spots available, that is a good hiding spot. I rest
Yeah.
my case.
Okay, Kelly, you know what?
I mean, that was their only option, yeah. But
You've
you make some
swayed
great
me-
points. Yeah.
You've swayed me a
Thank you.
bit. I still
Okay.
think that ring wraith should have found them, and
You know what,
think
there's
that his
9 of 'em.
friends are going
Maybe
to
he's
make
like the
fun of
fuck
him
up.
later. Yes,
Mm.
he's
this
the
one is
bad one.
in
He's like the
trouble.
he's
The
the
black sheep.
bumbling ring wraith. He's like, oh, I don't know, God.
I got a little.
This is
bread.
boring.
How am I
heard
supposed to know what
something
they're
over
supposed to look
there.
like? I've never seen a hobbit. Have you seen a hobbit? How am
These
I
dudes
supposed
are
to know?
pinching my feet, my really small feet.
I thought it
Dude,
was
I don't
no
know. There were like
tree.
spiders crawling out of the place. Like I wasn't trying to stay there.
Oh my god, those bugs, you guys.
Ooh.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
No,
I
thank you.
screamed.
That's that huge spider that crawls over. I think Pippin's shoulder is like, ugh.
This
I
is
think about
instant.
this. Go
I was
ahead.
just saying instant credit to Merry and Pippin for not knowing what the hell is going on and staying still and silent during that ordeal. Like, I think I would have lost my mind.
I was
Mhm.
gonna
That's
ask.
scary.
Whenever I see bugs on people, I always wonder, could I do that?
Yeah, same.
Could I do that? Because I really don't like bugs. But like, if you're gonna pay the money, who knows?
What's my rate? Am I right? You know, what am I
If
getting
y'all
paid?
getting that green. But that was a big spider. But maybe it's one of those spiders that like are really big and scary, but really they're not poisonous or something.
Yeah.
Probably.
And,
No, they
like,
got the most
also-
poisonous spider for
Yeah.
this scene.
They have like
Method acting,
qualified.
baby.
Like I remember watching Knives Out and there was that giant spider scene. Do you guys remember that? And at the end of the movie, I was like letting the credits run and like the words like spider handler came up.
Absolutely.
So I instantly Googled that person, found her Instagram, and there are like professional bug and spider handlers.
Oh yeah.
And I just imagine that this was done safely. No bugs were harmed. They picked the nice ones.
Stacey, just to let you know, in case you don't, since you're just finding out like about spider handlers, there's like lots of animal handlers in the industry, legendarily terrible at their jobs and awful to animals.
Don't ruin this for me, Matt.
just
Don't
so
you dare.
you know.
Don't you dare.
Spider handler.
But I'm sure this one was great. I'm sure everything went all. I think
there are
everything was
terrible and corrupt spider handlers in Hollywood?
Not this one. This one's perfect. This one's
Okay,
great.
good.
Fantastic.
I was worried.
Fantastic. All right. So Frodo's
So
about
we've
to put
covered
on
the
the
spider
ring, and then one of them grabs a cat and throws it out, and the ring wraith follows the cat. Oh, it was just a cat. And then we got to get away from here. Buckleberry Ferry.
Oh, real
Follow
quick,
me.
the moment when Sam stops Frodo from putting on the ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like,
Yeah.
3 hobbits down the line and still is looking out for his boy. That's such a nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Such a nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I mean, that would've
tension
been
that
it.
builds in that moment too, and the music, it was like really well done.
That was
Yeah.
that could have been it. That could have been the end of the line there. And
Yeah.
Sam. One for Sam.
One
Yep.
of the many times he literally saves the day. So
Yeah. So they run and run and run, getting chased, and they actually get away by going to Buckleberry Ferry. Frodo lagging behind, makes
not
the
a
jump
runner.
and makes it,
Yeah.
and they have to go around 20 miles to Brandywine Bridge, the closest crossing.
That moment too, when Frodo makes the jump, they get on the ferry, the wraith turns around and starts running, and then what, 2 or 3 more come, and you realize they were being pursued by like half a pack.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching that for the first time, and that gave me chills.
Yeah. This is like the first, I mean, it's weird because we're on the second episode and like over an hour or maybe an hour in now. But like this is the first like big like sequence. Like this is the first big like apart from the prologue, but that's kind of like glossed over. But like this is like, oh, okay, we're moving now. Like here's some action. Like here's some crazy tension. Here's some scares. Yeah, and I just remember like seeing this for the first time and be like, oh, this movie is cool. Like as soon as we get those Black Riders in the mix chasing them, it's like, okay, we've got a movie here.
Yeah, it's the first feeling of like real imminent danger. I think.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah,
we
it's
know
intense.
they don't know that Gandalf is being held.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or possibly, like, I mean, we don't know at that point. He possibly could be dead. We're not sure as the audience. But
Yeah.
like this
Just
is
got to
going
get to
well.
the prancing pony, and then our end of the story. We're at the end of our story. We're done. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were talking about
yeah.
for us for a second, and then I was like, oh no, wait,
Yeah.
for them.
For them.
Don't you love
Yes.
That's
too
what they
how
think, yeah.
Frodo shouts out the name of a pub, and Mary's like, "Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know
Buckleberry
exactly where
Ferry.
you're trying to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I own
Yeah.
the ferry."
They know me well.
And he knows how far the closest bridge is to like get
And
over.
they use miles, not kilometers.
Yeah, good to know.
Middle Earth.
So I was thinking about that as well. I found that very strange. But apparently, that is like Mary. That's where Mary's from, like that area. So it's not surprising that he is familiar with the local Johns. And also, while we're talking about Mary, apparently that was one of Dom Monahan's like I think one of his like bigger injuries is like sprinting down that dock, and he got like a massive, he
Splinter?
claimed it was like a massive splinter. Yeah. And he was like, it was excruciating, blah, blah, blah. And it was like the tiniest little splinter that got into his foot. But apparently it was very, very painful for him.
Traumatizing for him.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they make it to Bree, and one thing I'll say is I adore the people of Bree.
So good.
Oh my gosh, they are so wonderful. And
Seconded.
I have a very cool anecdote for the door guardian. The who goes there?
My favorite character.
How memorable is that
Hobbits,
character?
4 hobbits.
Incredible. So check this out, guys. His grandson, that actor's grandson, lives in Philly, and he
Oh.
like, his name is actually Kelly. I'm
How
not
do you
about to
know
like.
this.
So he worked at Sam, my boyfriend's bar. That's
Wow.
his grandfather.
Oh wow.
And apparently
You worked at my boyfriend.
he worked at
He like owns a bar. It's not a big deal.
no, so none of it. You guys are missing the point. None of that information is interesting at all. I know that's a weird flex, but no, the grandfather of that dude or the grandson lives in Philly, and his name is Kelly,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
But apparently his grandfather was like a pretty successful like television actor, and kind of was known for these like more character type roles.
Sure.
When I found that out, you would have thought that I like just met Ian McKellen or something. I was like, what? Like blew my mind because that character is so memorable. Like I could recite all of his dialogue. He is so good. Exactly. What business brings you to Bree? And he's so nice.
Our
He's like,
business
sorry,
is
no
our
offense.
own.
And then he mumbles as they're like long gone away. Yeah.
All right, sir. I meant
Anyway.
no offense.
He's
It's
so
my job
good.
to ask questions in the night. Strange talk of creatures abroad. What did he say?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
It's Mike's
fantastic.
grandfather.
He gets so much
yeah.
that like they get real testy with him. Understandably so. They've been through a traumatizing experience.
Yeah.
They're stressed out.
They
They're
were
trying to
just
get through the
chased.
gate.
Yeah, Frodo's
But
like,
he's
"Nah,
just
yeah."
like, all right, Jesus, I'm just doing my job. Calm
Yeah.
down. All right.
Yeah.
Our business is our own.
He's like, yeah. All right. Well, I'm the gatekeeper, so your
Yeah.
business is also kind of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the two windows in the door. That's so cute.
It's very
And he's not
Wizard
wrong
of
for
Ozzy.
asking.
Yeah,
He's not wrong for asking because
That's what
Little
his
bit
door
later-
guard. That's
little
what
bit
door
later, look what
guardian
happens.
does.
Yeah.
he gets door stomped.
he does get door stomped.
That death is
Tragically.
Big
that
door
death is
stomping.
rough. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Is
not
that
the
the
way to
f-
go.
Yeah, he got trampled
Yeah.
by like 9 horses, 5
horses.
horses at the, or I don't
And
know how
like
many there
and
were.
repeatedly. That's how stampedes are,
door.
Mike. Except there was a door as well.
I would say the initial impact probably killed him. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
a big door.
Yeah.
No, I feel like he probably fell with the
It
door.
could have pushed him in the
and
mud.
Yeah.
And then
it
the
pushed him
mud, a Jurassic
weight
Park
distribution.
situation. Yeah.
been a
I think
Jurassic
there was
Park
just an
scenario.
Sinks into
immediate
the mud.
lung.
Ask the
Crush.
grandson, Kelly.
Yeah.
I can. I absolutely can probably.
Also ask him what his grandfather's actor's secret was for that role. I want to know.
I will.
Was it method? Did he stay in that role?
For the rest of his
The
time.
kids came over at Christmas and he was like, "What business have you here?"
They're
So
just
they
like,
are
oh,
welcomed in. And one of the first faces we see,
Peter Jackson
Peter Jackson.
with a big old carrot. I keep on pointing out the carrots. I'm sorry.
Carrots.
Carrot count. Ding. Or carrot. Ding.
Yum yum yum.
So
Yum yum yum.
And then we see
Matt, no one heard that.
we see the hobbits. Are those children stunt doubles? Because there's like little like hobbits running around. Like this is this isn't forced perspective. These are clearly I don't know
Yeah, I
if
think they're
these
probably children, or
children or if
Kids.
they use,
I mean they I think they each had like 5 at least different like stunt doubles. There were like some children, there were some little people, there were like people in box stunt doubles and like using force perspective. So they all had different ones.
yeah. So they get to, and the innkeeper's there. Innkeeper again. Adore this guy.
So
Pretty great.
nice.
Great mustache on him.
Always happy to cater to the little folk.
yeah,
Great
nice.
he is
voice.
so like compliant. Like he's just making sure in case
Very
these guys
inclusive.
are like in case these guys are from like the ADA or something. Like, is this accessible? Just wondering.
Everything's
have,
up to code.
Do you have
Don't-
bars
don't
in the
cry.
bathtub?
Oh, you know that shit's not up to code.
Yeah. If anybody's gonna have a fake badge, it's gonna be like Merry or Pippin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
But the people, so the innkeeper looks wonderful. The rest of the folks look up very shady, including the one and only Strider. But they
It's
look,
a-
it's
it's a
like a
dark s-
pirate vibe.
A dark,
Yeah.
stormy night. Like, why aren't these people home? They obviously need to be in a pub, which makes them they're probably not in great moods. You know what I mean?
People
They're
seeking
Well,
refuge,
it's
yeah.
part of the culture, you know.
Yeah.
You go out to the pub, you have a few laughs.
They
you
probably
know?
worked. They probably worked all
When
day
in
in the
breed.
rain, and then we're like, we just need a drink. Like, let's Let's blow one.
That's what
off.
you did. You did your thing during the day, and then you went to the pub, and probably until it closed.
You
Mhm.
get
Prancing
drunk.
Pony
A
is probably
small
in
little
TripAdvisor.
child.
It's probably on TripAdvisor. How many
Mhm.
stars, Mike? Rate it.
Out of how many?
5.
5.
I think
it's always
I think
5
it's a
stars.
5 stars for.
You
for
think that's a
Prancing Pony.
5-star?
In that time? Maybe not now.
Interesting. Okay.
Prancing Pony 2022, not open.
Not so much.
Not
Yeah.
open.
Prancing Pony, it has everything.
Rampant
It
COVID
looks
virus.
Yeah, it looks crowded.
Cheese, bread.
And the
That was
menu.
like so normal.
Pints, halves,
Pints,
and full
half
pints.
pints, striders, small beds, big
Yes.
beds.
Speaking of Striders, that fella's done nothing but stare at you since we've arrived. And then
Great.
he asks
Such a
the guy for the, hey, what's the lowdown on this guy? What's
Yeah.
his problem?
They
The
very
guy-
ahead.
obvious, right? Like he
Yeah.
turns to give him a full look, and
who
then
him?
snaps back, and and Aragorn's staring at them the whole time, and he's like, "I saw you look at me," and he's like, "Oh."
one of them Northern Rangers or whatever. That was a
They
terrible
really
impression.
make him look scary. They
Oh,
really
yeah,
make him
uh,
with like the smoke and the his, like
the pipe that
pipe
lights up
ash
his
illuminate.
eyes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he like looks kind of psychotic.
And they get to like
all
set.
hooded.
It's such a good setup to like our badass like hero character of just like the innkeeper gives us like the load. He's like, he's one of them Northern Rangers. I don't know his real name, but around here he goes by this really cool name Strider.
Strider.
And then like the fire and the smoke, like illuminates his eyes, and it's like, all right, who's this cool dude?
No,
then he,
I was
like-
so afraid of him, Matt, as a 12-year-old girl. At first, I was like, this
Yeah,
man's
but
gonna
you're
hurt
intrigued,
Frodo.
though.
Like, he's not welcome here. Like, you stay away from them. And then, obviously, the tune changes. But
I was I think strangely enough, I was intrigued. And I
Yeah.
didn't know, I hadn't read the books. I like didn't know who he was, but I was like,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
much into
He's
it.
so mysterious and cool.
Yeah.
And he
oh
goes,
my
and then
God,
he like,
rooting.
Frodo disappears, and he grabs him in the room, and he like snuffs out the
You draw far
candles,
too
and
much
he's like, I
attention
could
to
disappear
yourself.
if I want to, or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everything
this
he
dude?
says is freaking perfect. Like,
was
it's
skipping
everything
ahead,
he
sorry.
says is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. I'm
great,
sorry,
great
but
intro all around.
every line he said, "Are you frightened?" Yes, not nearly.
Not nearly
no.
frightened up. I know
What
what you.
What if Frodo had
Yeah.
said no? What would his next line have been?
So I
like,
love.
everything
Oh,
he
good.
says is pithy
Fine.
and
You should-
I guess I'll just shut up. Then.
Yeah.
I love the way that Elijah would deliver that yes line.
Mhm.
He like kind of thinks about it. He's not about to lie.
he's honest.
It was just like, yeah, but like you could clearly see that he's terrified. I feel like Viggo Mortensen has like a little bit of a Batman voice going on.
Yeah.
We never really
Mhm.
hear that again. But when you first meet
he
him,
makes
it's
a
very, like-
couple voice decisions, especially later on. We'll get to in episode, I don't know.
What
8?
say you?
is it in the Council of Elrond?
Yeah, it's in the Council of
Okay,
Elrond.
yeah.
He's really
It
trying out
has
new
no other
Elvish.
We cannot
Master.
wield it. None of us can. It's
None
a
of
little
us can.
pretty nasally.
nasally,
in a
yeah.
way.
It's what happens when you're trying to embody a new character in a new world, and you're not given enough time maybe to prep for your role. I don't know. I don't know what is.
Can we do that take
That's
again and like, try
exactly-
something new?
He
That's
wasn't the first
what it
choice.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I
was
thought
flown
so.
in very, very late. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it was. You're just trying something. Hey, Pete, I'm just gonna try a few things out. Sure,
I'm
sure.
just
sure,
gonna
sure.
do
do a
I'm
couple
gonna do
takes
this
here.
voice. What do we think of this voice?
He
Peter?
has
about
no
how
other
he is.
master.
They filmed those scenes first and then changed later. And he's like, "Can we get people back? I want to go back to that." No.
Yeah, not for nothing, but every single choice is the best. I enjoy every single one of them.
I have zero problems with his voice work.
No,
I
and I
rec-
think
I
that
recognize
It's
it.
definitely not
matches the
distracting.
moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
it's
one line
not-
during
yeah.
the Council of Elrond is absolutely distracting.
Yeah, that's the
But
only
you cannot
distraction
wield
one I'd
it.
say.
None of
But
us
it quickly
can.
quickly dissipates. I'm back in the
I
scene.
guess that's what I mean. Is it you don't like really think about it? There's so much more to think about, folks.
There's yeah. I mean, every
but it
line
is goofy. In my later I didn't notice it early on, but rewatching it in my later years, I'm like, what in the flying fuck are you doing, Vigo?
It's so. We'll talk about that at the
Yeah.
Council of
Yeah.
Elrond.
When we
did
get
skip,
there, when we get
a
there.
little bit. I want to go back to the pub, Prancing Pony, where Baggins. I know a Baggins.
Oh,
Frodo
God.
Baggins.
Frodo Baggins.
Like, come on. What are you doing, Pip? Jesus.
Yeah.
kind of about to give up everything.
Yeah,
So
they do
then we
not
have a little-
understand
He
the
is-
stakes.
Frodo
of
freaks
this
out.
game.
No, but he's not told the stakes, guys. How is he supposed to know it's the fate of Middle Earth? A and B. He's had 1.5 pints. And
Yeah.
speaking as someone who is
It's a
5
pint.
feet tall, 1.5 pints is a lot of
Sure.
booze.
He's trashed.
Yeah.
He's trashed.
If he's out
Yeah.
there hunting for carrots, I mean, he is not eaten enough.
No.
You know,
Well, you
Yeah.
know, they probably had like a baguette of bread each and some cheese. A
At
Yeah,
baguette.
that
how
pub.
hangry are they by now?
yeah, they're in good spirits, so
Sure.
probably not a lot. But he has not eaten enough. I'm going to tell you
Sure.
that right now.
But
I do
Frodo
love that.
freaks-
Malnourished,
Freaks
or
out.
weary.
And the ring goes up in the air, comes right down on his finger.
Okay.
A ring
And,
has a will of its own.
disappears.
Thingy
Which-
catch. Thingy catch.
Why
and
do you
it was
reach
like
for
one of
the-
those TikTok trick shots.
If that were
uh,
the ring of power, I think I'd go 2 hands in a cup formation.
Yeah.
Like Matt said, has a mind of its own.
What's on?
It wanted to be on his fingy.
You know, if that were the ring of power, I wouldn't have kept it in my like little vest pocket for so long either. So
This little
Yeah,
ring
Yeah,
pocket.
tiny little.
It's just
tiny little
yet another instance of people going finger first at this ring. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like
yeah.
sealed,
Yeah.
like, or
Yeah.
Sauron, Frodo.
Yeah. Yeah.
they're really ET would have he would have had a real hard time.
He would
keeping
have
that thing
been
off. It would have been
No,
so
his
tough.
knuckles were so big. Like how far on a finger does this ring need to be?
Not just
to,
the
like,
tip. It only
It sizes, right? It sizes, resizes itself. That thing would have just been like small, big, small, big, small.
You just
big.
gotta breach the perimeter, and it's
yeah. And you're
And-
in the race
and the rates
zone.
are like
Well, it does, but the ring does change its
Yeah,
size.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah,
It
yeah.
gets
So,
bigger. smaller.
Yeah, so it could have like gotten bigger, and then the minute it got to where it wanted to go,
I'm so glad we got to the bottom of if the ring can fit on ET's finger.
yeah, where it gets smaller.
All right.
So the ring
so,
is on his
so we're
finger.
hiding.
This
ring is on his
podcast
finger,
would definitely
and-
be better served if people could see what we were doing too. Because I'm worried that this is going to be a lot of voice effects and not enough of people seeing what we're doing with our hands.
I think with woo, woo, everybody knows exactly what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Universal sound for big, small.
Slide
Yeah.
whistle, big, small.
So the ring is on the finger, and immediately the rates are like, yeah. And Howard Dean scream, and you hear Sauron's voice. I see you. There is no life in the voice. He's just monologuing.
Yeah.
Only death. And then he's grabbed by Strider.
Like
Yeah.
Sauron is so ready for this moment, right? Because what if he was taken off guard? Like, what if he was just like relaxing, like daydreaming, and then Frodo gets the ring on and it's like, oh, yeah, hello. I am.
He had those
Sauron."
lines in his back
Yeah.
pocket
He
ready.
was waiting.
He was like rehearsing in his mirror and borrowed
You there,
just like ready. Yeah.
I would
be
be
bored,
I would
though.
be taken aback, you know?
I mean, once he gives some orders, because he doesn't have a body, once he gives some orders and people are doing shit, that's all it is. That's all it is waiting.
I'll take
Even
a Big Mac with 3. I see you.
Interrupts him.
I see you.
I see you.
All right,
Aragorn, what are you
Kermit.
doing here?
he sounded like Kermit.
Yeah, that was a good Kermit.
Not
That
bad.
was me trying to do Vico.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So he's grabbed by Strider. A little more caution from you. That is no trinket you carry. I can avoid being seen if I wish but to disappear entirely. That is a rare gift.
Oh my
and
god,
then
what a good
They all
line.
come in. Let him go. Longshanks.
Oh, Samwise his little fists.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm.
Just what
Or I'll
kind of
have you,
delusion
Longshanks.
does he have?
Yeah.
He's got a
Is it-
stout heart.
He is
But
brave.
that will not
and
serve you.
He's a good
Samwise
friend and
the
he's loyal,
Brave.
but he's also delusional. If you're going in there fists up, I mean, at least
Doesn't
the
he
other
have a
one's bro-
candelabra? Am I,
I think
wrong?
I
Merry
think-
or
I think-
Pippin have
Yeah,
one.
Mary or Pip, and then the other one has a stool. So
Okay.
they
Yeah.
at least got weapons.
Grab like a
Yeah.
fireplace poker and head up, but just to bring your fists to a knife fight.
You
come
know,
on.
he didn't even think about it. He was like, "There's my best friend in the whole
Frodo's
world
up
getting
there.
taken
Yeah.
by Strider.
Mr.
I gotta
Frodo.
go. No time.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about anything
He's
else.
my best friend. I don't know if I'm his best friend, but he's my best
I
friend.
don't know.
We gotta go.
I would die for it.
I don't want to
Black
get into this
Riders-
relationship. We had an employee-employer relationship before that, but now I think we're really growing on each other, and we've gotten really close. We slept in the same tree bed together, and we talked about our dreams, and I'm going up there.
All right. So the Black Riders now break down the door, crushing Kelly's grandfather in the process. And
Not mine, other Kelly.
Not yours, other Kelly. Kelly and Philly. Other Kelly and Philly.
But not me and Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, poor innkeeper is cowering in his little pajama hat. See him there.
Oh, that was
yeah.
so emotional.
Mhm.
When did
And
we
then
do
we have-
away with nightcaps as a society? And I'm not talking about
says
the
we
drink
have?
before bed. I'm talking about sleeping caps. Why?
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know if they're gone. I think if you want to get
God.
a little sleeping cap, you can get a sleeping cap.
Mike, don't take this the wrong way, but I wouldn't be surprised if I found out that you slept with a sleeping cap.
I don't know how you don't take that the wrong way.
I don't take it the wrong way. I'll wear a sleeping cap. I'll wear it during the day. I'll wear it outside.
Well, that's just
So
a
then
regular
it's a hat.
cap.
That's just a hat.
I'll sleep in my winter hat. I got a problem with
It's a
that.
compliment.
I guess
I'm
I guess
happy.
nightcaps probably went away when we invented like heating, like when we
Yeah.
got like good heating.
When
'cause
we
they
were warm enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know whoever designed them to be so long and pointy with a little pom pom on the end. Because like when I'm trying to sleep
Yeah.
again, terrible
Oh,
sleeper,
yeah.
I don't
I would
need
strangle
that. Like,
myself.
yes, that would be in the way.
Yeah. Tossing and turning. You just wrapped up.
It's gonna fall off like
Wake up
immediately
tired.
too. There's
It
no
would-
chin
oh, yeah.
strap.
It would
It's
fall
not
off.
staying on.
I try to sleep sometimes in like eye masks, which are designed for sleeping and for staying on your head, and those don't stay on, you know?
Yeah.
I need mine though. I need my eye mask.
Mm.
Even if I lose it later, I need it.
The ring wraiths are now going through town, wreaking havoc, trying to find the ring. And we get that little exposition, some of which we already heard, thanks Strider, but we've heard some of this. They were once once men,
The men ones.
great kings of men, each gave him the ring and slowly turned them to his will, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then we have the bed fake out.
Oh,
Love the bed fake out.
Mhm.
You know it's
good.
coming, but it's still great. Like
You
The-
know something's
this-
up.
Yeah.
You know something is
Simultaneous
up. Yeah.
sword raise, stab
Yeah.
down. They don't even look for the ring. They stab.
the-
They're
I-
the
so
music,
stabby.
like the choir going, like it's
Yeah.
it's so big and like
It's
epic.
like 04
sounding.
tuna in the background.
Yeah.
I wonder if like the head wraith is like, all right, well,
One,
two,
two.
and then-
No. Are we
Is
going
it-
on 3? When someone goes early. I
Yeah.
feel like they do
Right,
such a
Probably
good
some guy
job.
from the trail.
They
Yeah.
do such a good job making the ring wraiths sound so metally, like the sheer of their swords and their boots. It just like it's such an unsettling sound.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, those shrieks, man, they're terrifying every time.
Mike
they're so
can't do
loud.
it.
Every time it comes on, I'm like, I gotta turn it down. I'm watching this TV way too loud.
It's so shrill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Scary.
yeah. All right. So then we are on the road again. On the road again.
Into the
and,
wild.
So did you think the wraiths just leave Bree?
Yeah. I
Or
think
do
they're
you think-
super embarrassed.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Head
fuck, we
between
gotta
their
go.
legs.
Yeah.
Like if
Heads hung
someone
low.
put the ring on not moments before, wouldn't they search the town? No. Okay.
I
They
guess we're
sneak
not.
out. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They're like
Maybe
literally, like,
they
across the
stay.
street.
Maybe they get maybe they get a room with
room.
the prancing pony. And they're like, "Oh, sorry.
Are
And
you
then
tired? I'm
They
tired.
sneak out and then they follow their tracks to Weathertop. Maybe.
I know we
know.
caused a bit of a problem here tonight, but we're kind of in a bit of a jam. Hopefully, you can
Here's
help us out.
Mordor money for the
Yeah.
damages.
Yeah. You're gonna
Oh.
need a couple new mattresses, a couple new purple mattresses.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
we
a bit
that-
of a problem.
I maybe it's explained in the books. I just don't get how they're so bad at their jobs. Like continuously bad at what they're doing. I don't
well,
it-
Stacey,
Yeah.
when you're not dead, not alive, let me know how your productivity is. You know,
this
I
is
think
again going back, I'm pretty sure that they can't see anything.
yeah.
Also,
I mean, I
think
know
I
this
think
has
we
been
can
a
agree they have bad
Stacey's-
vision.
to Stacey's
At
point,
least.
I feel like
no.
Gollum was probably harder to find than these than a group of hobbits.
Gollum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
this
Gollum,
is
yeah.
just they are given they're like a pin was dropped, right? Like they know where the ring was at what moment, and they still
I don't think
like
I don't know if
leave
it's that
town.
precise though. I don't know. That's
We said it's
But
like
then it was
pinging
precise enough
cell
for
phone
them to
towers.
get to the prancing pony and to go upstairs, right? Like that's
Ye-
pretty dead
yeah.
on.
I mean, they might have cut out like them asking for like where people
More
are or
directions.
something. You know, maybe I don't know.
We also don't know
But-
how long it's been from them and to coming to
It has to be
Bree.
within the regular night shift of a door guard,
Mm-hmm.
unless he's pulling like a 24, 36-hour shift.
Could have been an hour or two. You figure they had to go 20 something miles around to do that crossing.
Mhm.
So there's, I don't know, how long does it take a Nazgul to get 20 miles on a horse? As a Nazgul flies. Yeah.
Probably an hour. You can ride a bike that fast, right? 20 miles an hour.
I can
Yeah.
go faster than that.
If you're racing.
I could
yeah,
go
maybe.
I could go at least 40 on a bicycle.
So they are on the road again, and they're talking shit about Strider. He can hear every word of it.
Right behind him.
Yeah.
But where's he taking us? Where's he taking us to? To Rivendell,
Into the wild.
to the house of Elrond. Elrond Hubbard. Little
and
Scientology joke for you there, Cha. Okay. To the house of Elrond. And we're going to see the elves.
yeah,
Isn't
and then
it an amusement park, Sam? Like get your head in the game.
you know, they still don't know what kind of stakes
Yeah,
they
at this
have.
point, we don't know. Like I remember like watching this for the first time, and I still didn't know what to think of Strider. You know what I mean? Like you're still like, what's his deal here? Why is he so brooding and
Yeah.
dark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he fair? Is he foul? Time will tell.
Despite agreeing that Strider seems sketchy, I never really questioned his motives. I did like just kind of trust him immediately. I don't know what
Yeah.
that might say more about me than anything. But I was just like, oh, cool. We just got another person involved and like they're in better hands. I did feel like, oh, they need help. They need
Oh,
like
yeah.
someone who knows
Yeah.
the terrain and
They
who can
definitely
fight.
do, but I think for me, I was just, we don't know too much about this guy. What if he's going to try to take the ring? We don't know too much about Elrond.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm also like a very suspicious person by nature. And
Sure.
I remember not being totally sold with Aragorn in this moment.
When he's being
I wonder
crowned in
when I
Return of the
was.
King, Stacy's still like, does he deserve to be king?
Look, guys.
I don't know. That's
Still on the
actually a
fence.
great argument that we will have. But
About a year from now.
I think I'm more on a year from now, definitely. I think I'm more on Kelly's camp. Like I did kind of like trust him pretty quickly. And I do,
Same.
and I do feel like Frodo's like line really like pinpointed why I trusted him, of like I think a servant of the enemy would look fair or feel fouler. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's right. Like he's not so charming that it's suspicious, and he's not
Yeah.
like so like he hasn't done anything like
He
terrible or
looks
like mean.
I-
you know?
Like a
agree
badass,
that
but he doesn't
didn't-
look bad.
I didn't think that he was like sent by Sauron, but he is a man, and the hearts of men are so easily.
But he
corrupted.
hadn't
Corrupted.
tried to take the ring. He
Yes.
well knew
Yes.
that Frodo had it, so he could have killed them, slain them, and took the ring then, but he hadn't yet.
You're absolutely right. I just,
Yeah.
I didn't know how long it takes to get corrupted. I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
gonna. I remember the moment that
The
I was,
incubation time. Of
the moment that
corruption.
I realized I bought into him was and you have my sword. I remember thinking, oh thank God he's coming with them, and that was definitely, it was in between this point and that point where he convinced me.
When Vigo found his vocal, like where his voice should
When he
rest.
His
started
resting
kind of
Aragorn
talking
voice.
with an Irish accent, that's when I really dug into Aragorn.
You had my
I'm on
sword.
all sides of that.
Impossible.
As I was saying earlier, I don't think he looks like a badass, but he doesn't look bad. And one of his very first lines is like, I know what's going on here, and you got to be more careful, dude. There are people there. I know what hunts you. So he was kind of saying right at the top, I got your back.
He was being like a strict dad. He was like, you got to be more careful. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you.
Yeah, there's no case on that thing. Okay. It's
There's
like a
also
phone.
like everyone in this movie makes, and I'm here for it, by the way, this isn't a criticism, makes such a dramatic entrance. Like Aragorn could have walked over to them and been like, hey guys, I'm a friend of
My name is
Gandalf's.
Aragorn. Yeah.
I was told to look out for 4 hobbits. Are you them? And you know what I mean? Like that's like a nice way to be like, let's go get a room upstairs, maybe avoid this whole ring putting on nonsense and like get to know each other, play the name game. But instead he just stares at them for probably the better part of an hour, just smoking and watching these hobbits.
Watching
That's
Sam
just-
eat cheese.
Yeah, that's dramatic behavior.
It seems
That's
like
a
he's
little- a
also
little extra.
cultivated this reputation that he's also protecting in this pub, in this whole area as this badass. So him being like, hey,
Hey
what's
guys,
going on?
friends of
I'm
Gandalf.
Aragorn. What's up, bitches?
let me guess. You're such a Frodo. You must be Frodo.
Yeah.
Him walking over to them would draw more attention to them.
Versus
Then
grabbing
That's a good
Frodo
point, yeah.
putting
and
the ring
throwing
on
him into
and
a room.
disappearing. Yeah, I mean, Mike, the way that he got their attention
He was
absurd.
forced to do that. No. He was
What I'm
forced
saying
into
is,
action
we could have avoided that whole situation
if he just introduced himself.
if he just went over and said, "Hey, I'm a friend of Gandalf's. Can we go chat?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Mm.
everyone in the bar would think he's a wimp, I do think that maybe the reputation thing for being just a very calm communicator. No, I think this idea that he has a reputation to uphold makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's the jock who's
Wait,
gonna walk
wait.
over to the nerds table.
But he
Right,
also
I'm
didn't
just
know
saying.
who they were for sure.
All I was saying is, if I were tasked, he knew to. Okay, Aragorn knew to look out for hobbits, and the man at the door said, "We don't get many hobbits." And he's there on this night, and hobbits walk in, and they look nervous, and they're clearly waiting for something. If I'm tasked with coming to this group, and I know that they hold the one ring of power, and they're in a crowded bar, I'm probably going to go over to them and be like, "Let's remove ourselves from this crowded bar. There are Nazgul after us. We don't know who's going to bump into you or try to pickpocket you." I'm just saying Aragorn could have maybe stepped in a little bit sooner. And
When
No,
did
he's
Aragorn
probably been there
mess.
for a while though, and like there's probably been other hobbits maybe coming in and that. I don't know. It sounds like hobbits don't go there a ton, but they come there sometimes. I think Aragorn's just being cautious, being observant, trying to learn what they're like and get their behaviors before really stepping in and inserting himself. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't really care. I think he's great.
I don't buy it.
I just wasn't aware of when Gandalf and Aragorn would have met to discuss this plan. But yeah, it could have been in the year that he was gone doing
Yeah.
research.
Or
Yeah.
like before
Bumped
he
into him
went,
at the
maybe,
library.
like maybe he shot out a message before he met Saruman. Maybe,
Right. And you
know,
said sent a bird or a cute
Mhm.
moth or
yeah,
something.
like meet me there. Got to go talk to S.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, everything with
XOXO.
everything about like Aragorn and like the Numenors is like kept pretty vague. Like they're like just out there defending the Shire like from all evil for like centuries. Like, but like, how does that really work? And like just where did Aragorn get there? When did him and Gandalf become friends? And, like talk like at least in Lord of the Rings, what's covered in this and to my knowledge, like it's left pretty vague, which I think
Mhm.
is fun because it's just like Aragorn can be this kind of cool, mysterious guy, right?
yeah,
love
it doesn't matter for
Yeah.
sure for the movie.
I mean, I just also want to quickly say I'm not opposed to dramatic entrances. They're my favorite kind of entrances. So like, I'm still
Sure.
team Aragorn. I just
Of
think like
course.
in the real world, you would probably go over.
I mean, I think in the movie, because like you said, Stacey, so many people have dramatic entrances. I feel like we're going to see that pattern a lot, and it's effective. It's very much
So
like
good.
it just forces you to like hone in and be like, whoa, who's this and why?
Mhm.
Mhm. And it's
Yeah.
also not the only dramatic entrance that Aragorn
Mm.
has.
Not. Oh man. Yeah. We
All
should
right.
start keeping count of those.
That is where we're going to end this episode. We will pick up right where we leave off and continue that until the end of the year when we finish the Fellowship of the Ring. So I will say that this podcast is, of course, part of Crossroads Comedy Theater. For this podcast and others, you can go to xroadscomedy.com. We have a few different ones that are currently running, including Star Trek podcast, The Prime Subjective, Locking Up, a Black Pro Wrestling podcast. This one, of course, and soon to come, Now, Lord of the Rings was this podcast was a very long time in the thinking about doing. Another one, just along those lines, is a Seinfeld podcast. So there will be a Seinfeld podcast coming in the next couple months or so. So be on the lookout for that. And also go to wherever you're listening. It is. Go to wherever you're listening, wherever you're downloading this, whatever service you use, and rate and review the podcast. Let people know that we exist and that you enjoyed listening to us. And for people that do that on iTunes, you can be sure that we're going to pick those reviews, put them into a little hat, and pull something out and give you a little prize. We do that on all our other podcasts, so we will pick what prize that is going to be, and we'll do that at the end of Fellowship of the Ring, in the final episode of this
1 year.
And only if it's a positive review, right, Mike? Like if you pull out like a 1-star, you're gonna be like, no way.
I think it's any review.
Mm-hmm.
We've given prizes to bad reviews.
I'm saying the rules are changing. Stacy's here, and I'm not going to accept constructive criticism at this point in my life.
All right.
I don't need your notes.
Right then.
It's a fair point.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Stacy. Our fellowship, and thank you all for listening. Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.
Not only has it been a heck of a year, it's also been a heck of a decade, a heck of a century, for that matter, a heck of a millennium. So we here at The Late Show are about to take a much-needed holiday break. The only thing I regret about it is that it means I won't be on the air next week to celebrate the 20th anniversary of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, which also happens to be the 20th anniversary of me not shutting up about The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. It was 20 years ago this Sunday that this movie kicked off my favorite film series of all time. And what I want to know is, where the hell are the celebrations? How is it possible that we are not marking it as a people? Harry Potter is getting a giant 20th anniversary special with a full cast reunion. Seriously? Harry Potter's fine, but it's no Lord of the Rings. I mean, Dumbledore couldn't take a Balrog. Dumbledore was killed by a high school chemistry teacher. So I think Peter Jackson's towering achievement deserves the same kind of treatment, because if you ask me, there is no better film series. Lord of the Rings is without a doubt the greatest trilogy in movie history. And I know I may have said that many times before, but I have never, not once, rapped it. Until now. Jimmy, jam me.
Lord of the Rings #1 trilogy
Of all time, suckers. It's the #1 trilogy, the #1 trilogy. Try to deny and you just sound silly. Worldwide gross of almost $3 billion. 16 times what they made on Free Willy.
You whales! Best triple feature, hell yeah, we would win it. We got the only trilogy with everything in it.
Don't believe me? You could check for yourself. The Godfather doesn't even have one elf.
CGI, oh my god, yeah, we have that. Andy Serkis doing workus motion capture in it.
Star Wars is better? You make me sick.
Jar Jar can go ahead and suck my ring.
Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilogy. Ask Dom Monahan, or you can ask Billy.
Sean Astin's here too. Wow, that's actually silly.
Will Elijah Wood join us?
I don't know, really. Elf, dwarf, wizard, human, hobbits of the Shire. Bring the ring to Mount Doom and I throw it in the fire.
Such a good drill that I wish they made 4 though.
These films are better decent than your favorite porno.
A strider, some riders, golem, a spider. We got a gray wizard and we got one that's wider.
Best drill ever, baby, don't you forget.
That's right, Anna Kendrick, pitch perfect ain't.
What the hell? I thought we were friends. Damn.
That's scary. He's hairy. All eagles in the airy.
Remember when the 4 of us were Buckleberry Ferry? Plus we got dedication, yeah, Vigo knows.
Dude lost a tooth and he broke 2 toes. #1 trilogy, head of the class.
You think any different, you can kiss my ass.
I ain't taking no questions, so you best not ask.
Test me, mother, and you shall not pass.
won some awards, B. Cutting down pretenders like Aragon swore, G. 17 Oscars, that's king forever. That's more than these three mother put together. Effects impeccable, costumes unassailable. I'm only on this song cause Ian McKellen's unavailable. Show him, Mike.
Back to the future, oh, you got a DeLorean? We got sexy elves all over LOTR. And archaeologists, sorry, I'm snoring. It's Indiana Jones in the Temple of Boring. Billionaire fights crime, I don't understand her. The Dark Knight's capitalistic propaganda. And hockey ain't the Mighty Ducks. And I know it's 5 movies, but Twilight sucks. Anakin.
I'm barely in those movies.
The women are gorgeous, the fellas are cute.
Let my man rap in Elvish while Circus plays the flute.
Tolkienanien gomoarota nese signelame. Harjar exenelden jannar, aqua cantalamar. Blade we matta bevli amboreva lauli. Ida Vinci sarati. Dan Brown quetta vera lambia vevine. Yeah, equency.
Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilly. Movie so sick, I gotta take an Advilly when I'm sitting down the dillies, sipping chamomillies. Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilly.
But I will admit, the Naked Gun movies are pretty great.
Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilly. Ask anybody and they know the dilly. From Jacksonville to Manila, Philly. Ask all the fishes, the seaweed, the krilly. Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilly. Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilly. Lord of the Rings is the #1 trilly. Trilly, 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 trilly.
That was it. The official, exclusive Lord of the Rings 20th anniversary celebration. The one celebration to rule them all. Thank you, Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, Hugo Weaving, Andy Serkis, Orlando Bloom, Viggo Mortensen, Method Man, Killer Mike, and Anna Kendrick. And thank you, Sir Peter Jackson, and a happy 20th anniversary to all who made this movie and all who celebrated.